Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now. Hold on tight because what I'm about to tell you could completely reshape the NFC West landscape and give the Seahawks a serious boost heading into the 2024 season. Rumors are swirling around a blockbuster trade that could see Patrick Surtain, the Denver Broncos, shutdown corner, donning the Seahawks colors, and honestly, this move could be a game-changer for Seattle's defense. We're talking about a guy who's not just good, he's elite. And if this trade happens, it's going to send shockwaves through the league. Let's start with the player himself, because Surtain isn't just some name thrown around. The guy is a top-tier cornerback, standing at 6'2", and weighing around 202 pounds, a physical specimen with blazing 4.42 speed. His 2025 season was nothing short of spectacular, 45 solo tackles, 5 interceptions, which puts him in the top 10 among cornerbacks, and an impressive PFF coverage grade of 88. 6 targets against him. Just 62, with an EPA per target of -0.20, which shows how disruptive he is when the ball is thrown his way. His completion percentage allowed was only 48%, and he racked up 14 PBUs, proving he's not just good at breaking up passes, but also at making life difficult for receivers. Throughout his career, Surtain has snagged 15 interceptions, accumulated 245 tackles, and earned 3 Pro Bowl selections along with 2 All-Pro nods, showcasing his consistency and elite status. Now, what makes Surtain so special? It's his technical mastery. He's an elite technician, 6'2", 202 pounds with a 4.42 dash time, making him one of the most physically gifted corners in the league. He's also remarkably effective in man coverage, grading at 91, and allows a YAC of just 3.4 yards, which is incredible for a corner his size. Even with a shoulder injury that caused him to miss 3 games last season, his performance didn't dip. His deep coverage skills, off the charts with a 92. 4 grade in 2025. Think about that for a second, shutting down the best receivers deep down the field, especially when paired with Witherspoon, who's been developing into one of the league's premier corners himself. The reason Denver might be willing to part ways with Surtain is rooted in their current rebuilding phase. They've got about $8 million in cap space, and they're trying to rebuild around young players like Knicks, focusing on developing their other cornerbacks. Surtain's $25 million cap hit is a hefty sum in transition, and trading him would free up significant cap space, giving Denver flexibility to focus on their rebuild. But for Seattle, soaking up that cap hit and adding a player of Surtain's caliber could be a massive win. It would immediately elevate their secondary, turning what's already a strength into a potential top 4 unit in the league. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Seahawks. Adding Surtain to a secondary alongside Witherspoon would be like putting a Ferrari and a Lamborghini together, elite at every level. Their combined shutdown ability would make it extremely difficult for offenses to attack them, especially in key moments. Opposing quarterbacks would think twice before throwing in their direction, knowing that Surtain is capable of locking down even the most talented receivers. This duo could reduce the completion percentage allowed by the Seahawks by around 14%, and they could see an additional 7 interceptions added to the team's total, thanks to their ball-hawking skills and lockdown coverage. And that's not just talk, it's backed by the numbers. Against the Rams, with their talented wide receivers, the Seahawks secondary has historically struggled to contain top-tier guys. But if Surtain joins forces with Witherspoon, those days could be over. His previous success against top receivers, like when he shut down big-name targets in Denver, suggests he'd thrive in the Seahawks system. Think about the impact on the upcoming season, especially in high-stakes games. His presence would give Seattle a formidable advantage, and it wouldn't take long for him to become a cornerstone of their defense. Looking ahead to the playoffs, the addition of Surtain could dramatically improve the Seahawks' chances of competing at the highest level. Bookmakers already see the Seahawks' Super Bowl odds improving significantly, moving from plus 1,500 to around plus 750, according to PointsBet. That's a huge jump, and it reflects the confidence that adding a player like Surtain would bring. His ball-hawking abilities, Preventing roughly 700 yards of yardage in contested throws would be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, especially when you consider his ability to shut down outside routes and cover the deep ball. He could be the piece that pushes Seattle into serious Super Bowl contention. Now, some might wonder about the cost and whether this trade makes sense from a financial perspective. Well, it's all about the value. The Seahawks have the cap space, and they've shown they're not afraid to make bold moves. The potential upgrade on their secondary could be worth the risk, especially given how much they've invested in their defense in recent years. With Surtain's proven track record and elite skill set, he's the kind of player who can change the entire dynamic on the back end, making life easier for the pass rush and forcing offenses to rethink their game plan. And let's not forget about the bigger picture. This trade could set a precedent for the league. It's not every day you see a player of Surtain's caliber available, and the Seahawks, with their recent history of aggressive moves and strategic planning, could be the team to make it happen. If they pull this off, it's going to be a statement. Seattle is serious about contending and building a powerhouse on defense. A certain acquisition would send a message to the rest of the league that they're not messing around, and it could very well be the move that propels them deep into the postseason and beyond. Of course, there are always questions. Will Denver want a second-round pick in 2026 and a fifth-rounder in 2027? It's a fair ask, especially considering Surtain's age and talent. The Seahawks would likely have to part with some assets, but the payoff could be enormous. The team's front office has shown they're not afraid to make bold moves in the past. Think of recent trades and draft picks that have shaped their roster. And with a young core led by Geno Smith, a solid offensive line, and now a potentially elite secondary, Seattle's window for a Super Bowl run looks even brighter. The impact of this move wouldn't just be felt on the field. It would energize the fanbase, boost team morale, and send a message to the rest of the league that Seattle is serious. The Seahawks' defense has been climbing in recent years, but adding a player like Surtain could take them from good to great, from playoff contenders to Super Bowl favorites. Imagine the potential: Surtain and Witherspoon shutting down outside routes, forcing turnovers, and turning games around with splash plays. That's the kind of defense that wins championships. So the speculation is heating up, and fans are buzzing about the possibility of Surtain in Seahawks green and blue. It's a bold move, no doubt about it, but one that could define an era. The Seahawks are known for their boldness. Think of the legendary Legion of Boom, and this could be their next chapter of dominance. It's a high-stakes game, but if they pull it off, the rewards could be legendary. The NFC West is already tough, with the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals all fighting hard, but with Surtain added to the mix, Seattle's defense would be on a whole new level. Opposing quarterbacks would need to bring their A-game every time they face this secondary, and that kind of pressure could be the key to a deep playoff run. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think Surtain is the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Would you be willing to see some draft picks go to Denver for this elite corner? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks family. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. The offseason is heating up and things are about to get even more exciting.